Welcome back, everyone. It is time for our next matchup of the afternoon. We've got West Branch versus Ferndale, and I'm excited to see this one come through. It's another top team in our TEC high school series in the side of West Branch, and I feel like I haven't seen them in a while, and I'm excited to see them again.
Yeah, and actually for West Branch, we'll have a couple of players that that I either haven't seen before or haven't seen as much of. So going to be a slightly iterated look here for the higher seeded team. I'm very interested to see how Ferndale is going to play this matchup. Obviously, West Branch at the number 2 seed, or tied for first, really is going to be quite the opponent to overcome. So for Ferndale, I'm really looking to just see some really excellent fundamentals that possibly help them to start with one fight win, and then one round win, and then one map win, and then go from there, right? And eventually take the series. I think I've spoken previously about compartmentalizing goals and how important that is in the context of organized Overwatch team play. Kind of hard to do that when you've got so many. Oh, those are my dogs in the background. Kind of hard to do that though, Joker, when you're up against a stacked opponent such as West Branch.
Where's the dog cam? That's all we're asking now.
Man, he hates being held.
Oh, boo! My cat loves to be on my lap during casts for some reason, but
So cold.
she's not here right now because it's kind of hot. So, but let's take a look here. Well, we've already seen them, but let's tell people about our first map of the evening. It's Arctic Peninsula, yet again coming out from these for the map pool today, and again it will lend itself to Brawl, but predominantly Ramatra Brawl is what I've been seeing a lot more recently than Reinhardt.
Yeah, part of it is that, Ramatra is just good, or rather even into the matchup. As long as you have support for the Ramatra and a good matchup, a second or third good matchup against the Reinhardt, such as the Bastion and May, which we saw at some of the highest levels of play a couple of weeks ago. Things are going to start phasing out from the Reinhardt-based brawls because he did suffer a slight adjustment into his armor HP. Taking 50 armor HP sounds like not too much on a hero who has, I think, 600 total health, but it does quite a bit for the uptime that Ryan has traditionally been capable of when he has that extra 50 armor HP. I reflect on times in Overwatch 1 where he had that extra health, and it was an absolute game changer. Overwatch 2 isn't much different. So even though Reinhardt is weakening a little bit, he's still good on this map, still provides that structure that these high school teams really like playing around, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see him. But I agree, the Ramatra is very good here on Antarctic Peninsula. Needs to say, Joker, we are not disappointed, but a little bit surprised to not see our favorite null sector representative on the field from either team.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Matic makes this Doomfist work, especially against the Reinhardt comp we're seeing, especially since we're seeing new Brigida right now. By the way, we didn't really talk about the Brigida changes coming in here, so while we're waiting for this fight to unfold, you're the support player. Let's talk about Brigida.
Yeah, and I played a little bit of her last night, and it's not as oppressive as I think we thought it would be, maybe because Brig players haven't quite figured out how to play with a new rally. 100 restorable armor HP granted instantly, a massive barrier that can stun through shields, just like it did back in the day. A little bit of a menace, but only in that rally, and then we're going to take a little bit of time for that to build up. See if this West Branch squad can clean out this fight here first.
Yeah, in the midst of us talking about Brigida, West Branch came in a fury, finding every pick they needed. And while you were talking about Brigida's new shield, I definitely saw a noticeable difference when they have that shield up.
Oh yeah, and like I said, it's really just a rally that Brig is a particular menace. She's look at that ball.
Oh my goodness, from the top ropes, indeed. Ball diff coming in well for West Branch. They do lose the other half of the DPS, the diff duo, early on in this fight, and losing Yan Kiwi as well now. Not looking good for West Branch as they're going to have to retreat.
Yeah, Fire Lord is probably no. They actually get out a little bit cheeky after testing their limits there on that angle. But the game slay is going down, and a trade in Layla Fox play. Things are looking opportunistic for both sides.
It really is, as Matic finds the pick onto Nyan Kiwi after using their Meteor Strike, still able to stay alive. Not gonna have that Brigitte at the moment, and now they have Astro set up on this point with the Bastion. Gonna be pumping in so much damage, but Matic is so low, they're gonna have to try to get out, but that's not going to be possible as the Coalescence now comes through. That's gonna open things up fully for West Branch, finding Astro out. That the Photon Bear might not be enough for them to stabilize, and in the end, no, it is not.
I mean, there's so much damage here that West Branch offers that goes through those barriers. So Gaming Bumble, I wouldn't be surprised to see a swap here, but you know, it was kind of like all the ults have come out, so we'll just add one more to the fray and see if that buys us a little bit of time. It did end up buying Ferndale a little bit of time, but that time might be kind of nullified by the fact that we saw the Valkyrie in action there. Now the artillery config, which doesn't get any picks.
Yeah, as they're gonna come in here, another nice grenade comes in though from Astro to try to open things up. Game slays on the Sojourn, finds out two. Now things are looking a little bit better for West Branch, but Ferndale does get the point back into their favor. The rally is up for Nyan Kiwi. Still not gonna be popped just yet, but Matic is off the side of the map as DPS diff come back from spawn, finds the last two remaining of Ferndale.
And this first map has actually been a lot closer than I thought it was when I saw one team on Brawl and one team on this kind of, I'll say it, solo queue ranked composition. That's what we call a comp like this over at University of Buffalo, and it works for us sometimes, and I'm glad to see it working for Ferndale. This is the culmination of comfort picks and risk taking that we appreciated from the last series, and now we can appreciate about Ferndale.
Yeah, as West Branch are going to be able to hold on to the point. They did give up a decent amount of chunk, though, to Ferndale, who is, again, one of those 2-2 squads looking to overcome the 500 in a positive way. Obviously, they're not looking to lose here, because that would set themselves up poorly for the playoffs coming up soon.
And again, against an opponent like West Branch, you're going to look as good as the series basically enables you to look, right? So as things start going correctly for Ferndale, and as they capture objective progress like they did in the previous round, as they walk away with picks and have good ultimates, right? That's when they really start to look good against this matchup, and so that's part of why I'm so pleased with that first round, is because, man, there were some moments where Ferndale looked fantastic, but then you've got the rest of the game where West Branch does look better, right? So heading into this next match, you just want to figure out which of those players are doing really well for West Branch, and for Ferndale, the question is how to shut them down. Another question is how we factor in the Life Weaver into this comp.
Now I have to open up my my third monitor here to make sure I'm getting all of these abilities correct, because it's just so new to the game here as Layla Foxplay coming in here. But I believe the Thorn Volley is what the that DPS ability is for Life Weaver. But hey, they didn't really find much DPS as the real DPS diff fighting too.
I'm already happy to see Life Weaver in action here. I definitely am excited for the pull and the pedal plays that are possible off of this hero. It's not a lot of healing that he can actually deal, not a lot of damage that he can deal either, but there's some pretty serious game-breaking playmaking potential here. And that's kind of, you have that with Life Weaver. You also have that with Wrecking Ball. So Matic on this ball pick is going to be very interesting to watch, although I think they just suffered a little bit too much damage to live too long there.
Yeah, and they're gonna lose Layla Foxplay yet again in this fight. They're still trying to make some changes, and I think that is going to be the play. Maddox gonna go over to the Diva now. Still, Layla Foxplay. This Lifeweaver isn't just a random pick. This is definitely what they're attempting to use here.
Oh yeah, and you know, this is a good opportunity to, you know, to do so. Part of what you want to be doing in competitive matchups is limit testing a little bit, and so Layla's going to try and see what they can get away with on this character. You know, if you have the Mercy to sustain the rest of the team as well, to compensate for relatively lower healing output. Ooh, what is Nye and Kiwi doing?
yeah, Kiwi kind of just said, hey, I might be a little bit more tankier now. Let's get in the full of Ferndale there. Still alive, surprisingly, which might be a testament to New Brig, but hey, look at that. The first Lifeweaver kill I've casted comes through from Layla Foxplay as the self-destruct now comes through as well, but it's still West Branch holding out.
Yes, 6 seconds to touch here, and it's looking unlikely for Ferndale to find the clearance that they need to actually connect on the objective. That is the narrative here.
I wanted to see
West
it.
Branch walking away.
They almost had it there. Layla Foxplay almost had the Tree of Life available, but unfortunately, it didn't build up in time as West Branch obviously take round number 2 and take map. No, but hey, look at that. That was the pedal.
You like it?
That was pretty cool. And it's pretty. I actually do need to take a look at Lifeweaver in actual game. And not just casting. That would be probably very beneficial to myself, but I don't know. I just can't make myself open Overwatch at the moment. I don't know what it is.
Fair enough. It's a tough game to play sometimes, but you know, I think I mentioned this before. The thing that I really like about Lifeweaver is the fact that the next support hero, and then after that, the next I think it'll be tank and then DPS hero that we'll be getting after that are going to get to be just as wild and zany, and I think that that's a good state for the game. But Lifeweaver, you know, I got to play him a little bit yesterday, and there's definitely quite the learning curve as far as how to use your abilities with creativity, ingenuity, use them to problem solve as opposed to just to use them. And I'm also coming out with a couple of concerns. Number one being that it's possible that the professional standard of Lifeweaver's playstyle is heal botting, not so different from the way Kiriko was when she was added and played in the Grand Finals of OWL 2023. We'll have to see if that is going to end up being the case. That's one of the reasons I liked watching Layla Fox play on the Lifeweaver, is because they were actually leaning a little bit into the damage, which is what I was trying to do in the games that, well, I did end up losing yesterday, partially because, you know, Lifeweaver can only do so much healing, and so you want to be doing as much of that as you can. But again, the main value comes from the abilities. So, you know, on the note of abilities, you know, for Ferndale, one way to overcome the hurdle that is West Branch heading into Route 66, which for Overwatch 1 players should be a very comfortable map for some of these kids. Kind of returning to our roots here in Route 66. See what I did there? I didn't even mean to do that, but you know, one thing that Ferndale can look to do is just make sure that, you know, they're using these cooldowns on all of the characters, you know, really creatively, really responsively, right? You don't necessarily want to react vehemently to what West Branch is doing. You want to respond with wit and calculus to how they're playing. And so that's what I'm excited to see Ferndale do here in Route 66. I think we're getting some changes though coming in.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a swap from Astro going over to the support line, as Layla Foxplay is going to be going onto the DPS, as we'll see what West Branch is going to be doing in a few short seconds here as well.
Okay, so changes across the board here for both sides. That's going to be a lot of fun. Get to see people on maybe off roles, or maybe we're seeing them on their main roles. And we've actually just been seeing off roles this entire time. For Route 66, that's I guess a little bit surprising to me. I would have figured that, we would all be pretty comfortable on all different roles on this map, but maybe it is rather that there's just a particular strength that both of these teams want to try and capitalize on, and that's a really good mindset to go into Route 66 with, a really good proactivity for both teams to enter this map with.
This is a full sale swap coming in from West Branch, actually.
Yeah.
They've moved the DPS lineup to support, so we're not seeing, I think, yeah, no, so okay, no, never mind. So we've seen, so I think Fire Lord is on tank now. Baldiff is on DPS. The Game Slays, I think, is still sticking with DPS. Maybe not. Nyan Kiwi still sticking with support, maybe not. And DPS diff on support. This is just ruining everything. How can you be called DPS diff
If you're playing support
when you're on support? Okay, as the Game Slaves is going to be going over to support as well.
Yeah, that is the so the final one is Fire on tank, Ball and Nyan on DPS, Game Slays, and DPS diff on support. So I think that you were right, Joker. We're seeing full swaps come in from West Branch. So invariably, you've got a number of people on their off rolls, which is always a positive experience. It's actually really important to learn how the other roles and other heroes play, what kinds of things they need, what kinds of expectations they have for them. It wasn't until I started playing Tracer that I became a better Zenyatta player. It wasn't until I started playing Lucio that I got better at tracking them down with the crazy frog movement, right? It wasn't until I started playing tank that I realized what kind of resources the tank need and at certain critical moments, right? So for West Branch here, as we talk about an ongoing narrative today about how hard work enables these teams to succeed, this is West Branch putting a little bit of work here and getting some experience in on those other roles, which is incredibly valuable. For Ferndale, it's going to be an opportunity to exploit any weaknesses playing off roles. DPS diff is certainly going to be not playing the full support play style. Definitely gonna see moments of aggression and damage dealing, and so that might be the opportunity for Matic, Gaming Bumble, Layla Fox play to come in with a really clean strike onto Firelord, who is on tank as opposed to on DPS. Or, I'm sorry,
support.
On support.
So maybe this is their grand scheme of things. Maybe because maybe Baldiff doesn't play, say, a diva.
Yep.
That could be what we're gonna be seeing from them. I just don't know the reason for all the other support changes. Maybe you like having your DPS on, say, Baptiste and Zenyatta. If they're gonna be going that route of things. As hey, maybe I'm cooking up something here with that support lineup that I was definitely thinking is the reason, but no, DPS diff's gonna go over to Brig.
I don't know what this comp is, to be honest. I mean, it makes sense up until I don't know. I see a lot of sense in it, and I also see a lot of zaniness in West Branch's composition. So I guess I'll save my considerations for that until the match actually starts and we get to see this composition in action. For Ferndale, it's back on that solo queue ranked kind of composition, and again, I actually really like to see that comp because I loved watching it succeed the way that I got to watch it succeed against the MUOH Red Hawks in UB's early ESC season. So let's see if it finds the success I want it to. Matic punching over the top here, ending up in the back line. Not a bad spot to be in to go aggressive now with an empowered punch.
Yeah, as they're looking to get some work done. This isn't the first time we've seen like real superstar players from the TEC decide to off-roll and still work out well, because it's currently working out for them. I go back to the old Forest Hill days when it was Flip Stingray and I believe our very own Vaco going in wild on every role that they played on. As it's working out for them currently.
Oh yeah, they're able to hold this first corner. Cart's barely progressed, and when it does, it's only because one person is on it, having to kind of tenuously step on and off. There's a punch, an attempt to get someone over the ledge. Doesn't quite work there, and you got to be really careful because around this corner, it's a really good spot for the Dragons. That ball diff is currently very close to building.
Yeah, as Maddox still trying to make some progress, but hey, Baldiff, they're just they're showing that hey, maybe they are the better diff in the duo of West Branch right now, because they clearly can play everything at the moment, or maybe they're just a very good Hanzo player. But hey, it's still working out well for West Branch as they're holding out strong currently on point 1.
They got a lot of ultimates as well coming up very soon on 5 of them. They're also playing some really good matchups here into Ferndale. It's going to be hard to out damage the Brig map healing with even with Sim and May. You know, you're going to have to be wary of the long sightlines with Baldiff and the Hanzo.
Oh no!
And that was a really nice effort of coalescence. It's just
oh my
kind of crazy with the Hanzo.
Yeah, that was just as the Annihilation now comes in from Firelord to wrap things up. They did lose Baldiff in the end, but the meter strike now comes out from Matic, trying to change this back into the favor of Ferndale, but it does not seem to be the case as the Reptile coming in from Nyan Kiwi as well, looking for some damage. I don't know why they haven't found them yet. They're just kind of out in the open. The Junkrat bear trap comes into play there for the side of Ferndale. Still not opening things up just yet.
No, not quite yet, and that was you know, Ferndale and West Branch kind of using all of their ults. Gameslay's never got a chance to deploy the Implication Matrix, but hoping that they'll be able to get a little bit of value off of it this fight. Astro in the backlines does find DPS diff, which is incredibly meaningful, even if you have traded for Gaming Bumble.
Yeah, as they find a Fox play here with the pick onto Nyan Kiwi, like you were talking about. So that's a lot of damage now gone, and as Matic can get this pick on the Baldiff, that would be huge, and they do. They are able to get that. But in the meantime, while they're still trying to get that work in, they're not able to find more picks from the rest of their squad, as they're still being stalled out here on point 1 currently.
And there's about 25 seconds left in the bank as well. The Valkyrie's in action here from the I'm the Mad Lad, but Matic and Gaming Bumble are both incredibly low. Matic ends up going down, Gaming Bumble able to stay sustained, but now you're without your Doomfist, so the question that you're confronted with is how do we push? Really, the answer is no different than when we had the Doomfist. Gaming Bumble going over the top ropes, finding the Concussion Mine, kill onto DPS diff, and once again, you're establishing trades here, but at least you're getting picks here, and that can be progress for Ferndale if they didn't have so many ults to walk into.
Wow, that was just definitely considered an alt fiesta there, Lord Ethan, as West Branch were able to hold on at the corner of point number 1, setting themselves up perfectly for a 2-0 in this series.
Yes, and it's kind of like the conversation that we had earlier with the Forest Hills matchup, the previous series was you know, by holding in a certain position, and this is the defender's advantage. This is why teams prefer to start on defense. Is, you know, by holding a certain amount, you know what your win condition is. You know, if you manage to hold the first point, you only have to push. What is this? 32 meters, right? If you let go of all 3 points, right, with 4 minutes left in the bank, you're definitely feeling a little bit dismayed, possibly in a way not so different than Ferndale might feel at not getting more progress. But you're also confronted with a very clear goal, which is beat them, right? Beat their time. Push all the way end with their time. Ferndale, pull off the fuller hold, right? And so there's a little bit of optimism, a little bit of encouragement to be found in the fact that never before have our goals been so clearly illustrated for us by the golden box of victory there around the corner. I can barely see it here from this angle. But now the question is, how do we hold, right? And the answer is with this incredibly brawly, high sustain, high damage output composition here from Ferndale. They've got the right idea. They've defaulted from that solo queue ranked composition, and they've fallen themselves onto a little bit more of a constructed identity. I really like this look from them. West Branch is also going to be pumping out the damage. Not going to have a lot of sustain, but they have got a lot of pick-off potential.
This just reminds me of that composition, and it is that composition that you pick when you get full held and you want to be toxic and competitive. It was always the double shield composition with the Bastion Torb, with the Mercy and the Baptiste. And hey, it's working out well so far for Ferndale. They haven't moved the cart yet.
No, and again, Ferndale committing themselves to a specific identity is really good here because it means that they all know how they want to play. Now, Layla ends up going down. Oh, I'm the Mad Lad ends up going down too, so it might already be over here, Joker.
Yeah, that's it at all, as they're about to finish things up. And Baldiv does go down with and a nice hammer kill coming in as well from Gaming Bumble. It's looking good now. They might be able to get a last-second touch.
Yeah, that was actually a really important stall there from the resident Torbjorn specialists of Ferndale. No ultimates to come into this next fight with, but Matic is on the Winston, which means that you are, actually at this point, you're guaranteed to get a touch there. Expenditure of the bubble is a little bit imprudent, but the rest of Ferndale is here to support Matic. Oh, until they're not. Oh no, Joker.
Yeah, as I think that's really gonna be it. Nyan Kiwi fighting 2 picks with the Widowmaker, looking to wrap things up. It's just that Torbjorn left, and he goes sprawling in the sky as Was Branch takes the map and the series and win in a 2-0 fashion.
Really good stuff from West Branch. I mean, the gameplay, you know, it doesn't ever not look clean, right? I think this was the shutdown on the Coalescence, maybe? I can't quite remember.
This is the end of the game, the end of their push.
You're absolutely right. You know, there's a, it's funny to see players standing still and shooting, but sometimes to hit your shots, that's what you've got to do. So there's a lot to respect about the patience from someone to simply stop moving, or stop doing, you know, whatever might be distracting to them, and just focus on the one thing that you got to do. And you know, again, not to be the or not to repeat myself too much, but you know, that's part of the compartmentalization of goals there, which West Branch did very effectively. Ferndale, the 2 things that I really liked from them was the solo queue ranked composition. It was just them playing the heroes that they wanted to play, because at the end of the day, Joker, that's what it's all about. It's just playing the game. And then as well, the commitment onto a very solid identity for that follow hold. Would have had it, just got to clean it up a little bit more, the strategy, the execution, but what a fantastic idea from the Ferndale squad. So, you know, not too bad of a loss if I'm looking at the standings here. You know, that puts Ferndale at the 2-3. It keeps them in line with some of the other competitors, such as Forest Hills. And you know, depending on how things go with Shade here later this afternoon, might kind of even things out with that team as well. But we'll have to see on the other side of a break, Joker, because after that we'll have Greater Johnstown Trojans going up against the Shade squad again, and that's going to be a banger series. So you guys at home, go grab a drink. Don't go anywhere, though. Don't close out a Twitch stream. Don't you dare, because we're going to be right back on the other side.